Hey guys, Uncommon Ramen here. Before we get into the video, let me remind you that if you like my content, please hit that like and subscribe button so we can work on those analytics. And, you can hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every time I post my content, so you'd be the first to see it. Also, if you feel the need to support me, hit me up on my Patreon at patreon.com/uncommonramen, capital U, capital R. I do all of this in my free time, so any amount of support can help me bring more of this content to you more often. So, I am taking a look today at Fort. It's not a new game. I think Letter Games' newest game is Arcs. Actually, I should say it's Ahoy. But it's a Letter Games game, and I'm really excited to go into this. I have had a chance to play this one before, not with the expansion, so we're going to take a look at that. That's going to be new to me. But Letter Games is a really interesting game company. They have released several four-letter word games in the form of Fort, Root, Vast, Arcs, Ahoy is coming up, and I cannot remember that other. There's another game of theirs that is in a much larger box than any of these, and I can't for the life of me remember what the name of the game is. But they're four-letter games, and typically they are asymmetrical. So each player is going to be playing a very different mechanic than everyone else. Now, Fort isn't asymmetrical in a sense. There, as far as I could tell when I played it, and this was about 2 months ago, so I can't remember exactly, but if I remember correctly, it's very symmetrical. But I've been really a big fan not only of the art style of Letter Games games, but also just in general the mechanics of them. And like I said, Arcs was just recently on Kickstarter. It has been, I want to say a month now that it has been funded and is no longer on Kickstarter. And I believe Ahoy, which is going to be a pirate-based Letter Games game, is going to be hitting Kickstarter at some point in time very soon. So look forward to that. But today we're going to take a look at Fort. So in Fort, you are playing what we all were at one point in time in our life, a kid who is defending a fort and trying to make their fort the better fort out of all of them. It is up to 4 players, so you got 4 people trying to build their fort, and well, you're not actually building a fort, you're just deck building a bunch of kids to defend your fort, but needless to say, you want to be the coolest fort on the block. So we're going to take a look inside here and see what we got. I think the thing about Letter Games that has me buying them up like I am is that Vast is a good example of it. The original Vast, not the Mysterious Mansion offshoot, has since gone out of print and has become extremely hard to find, especially its expansion. And because of that, I worry about the rest of the Letter Game stuff as they slowly but surely go out of print. And so for me, picking up Fort was kind of a I need to pick this up before it goes out of print type of move. Right, so we got ourselves the little Letter Games catalog in here. Oh, it's Oath. Okay, Oath was the other one. This one is Oath is a bigger game, and it's definitely something I want to look into, but we'll get there when we get there. Root is the game that they're probably most well known for. So we got our rule book here. Essentially what we're looking at here is that it is a deck building game. It is asymmetric in the sense that each of you is going to start out with a slightly different deck than the other players, if I remember correctly, because each player faction, if you will, has its own special characters in it, and that is the closest to asymmetrical that this game actually gets. So you got a player board that keeps track of a lot of different things as far as like the toys and pizza and other related resources that you have are concerned. And if I had to explain it the best that I could, I would definitely explain this as like a kids' turf war, minus the violence of adults, because, you know, let's be honest, this is more or less a very harmless little turf war that mostly consists of you fighting over which kids are in which fort and whether or not you want those kids to be part of your fort. Because really the only thing that ends up changing consistently here is that if you have drafted certain kids for your fort, there is a chance that they will switch sides. Actually, I don't even think it's a chance. I think it's a guarantee. During each turn, you're going to lose at least one kid who's going to switch loyalty to another fort. And you can, like it shows here, you can advance your fort level and tons of fun actions there. But like I said, at the end of the day, you're just trying to get as many victory points as you can. You want to have the most victory points to prove to the rest of the world that you have the greatest fort available. Then we got our final page here with some glossary related items and the credits. Okay, so the next thing we have in the box here is going to be the player boards, starting with the victory track, and this is just going to show what everyone's victory points look like at that particular point. I believe that it is just blank on the back. Yep. Then we have the player boards. These player boards are double layered. So we have an indent here that catches our stuff so that we don't have to worry about them slipping off if something precarious were to happen. We have different clans represented here, or rivals, I suppose, represented here. We have an area here for our toys, an area here for our pizza, an area here for our backpack, and then just a little fun thing indicating what your fort level is at. And then up here there is a little notch in the board which will be used to keep track of certain passive abilities that you can earn throughout the game. So we had our gray faction there, we have our yellow faction, and there is literally no difference between the board aside from the color of the faction, which indicates which starting kids that you get to start with. Then we have our orange faction. And then finally we have the red faction. Okay, that's our player boards. Next up we have, I think these are crib sheets. So these are little cheat sheets to give you an idea of what each of these symbols mean, so that you don't have to spend your time guessing. And this is a very specific thing to. It's not specific to letter games. It's very indicative of letter games. They always give you a very easy to read, easy to follow crib sheet, so that you don't have to spend your time guessing what all of the things you're doing is. And they're all exactly the same, so there's nothing special here, and they are backed with the fort symbol. Next up, we have our wooden cubes, or in this case, hexagons, and some circles here that represent different levels of the fort. The blue cubes are toys, and they will take on the shape of the boxes of toys. The orange/yellowish cubes here are the pizza cubes, and they look like a very misshapen pizza, I guess. And then we have these little circle bits throughout the course of these things. Each one of them represents different levels of your fort. So we have one here that's a water gun, pennant, a skateboard. Oh, I just dropped that one. Another pennant. Just stuff like that. And these would slot into the different areas on your player board like such. As you're doing your thing. And then the last thing we got here. Oh, I was wrong. There's 2 sets of cards. Okay, so we're going to take a look at the big set of cards first. This is going to be your kids that you can recruit throughout the course of the game. And let's hope that they made oh, they did. Okay, excellent. Oh, that's perfect. Okay. That works out. So this is the deck that we are going to be drafting from. This also consists of some of the starting characters, which I believe are denoted by the little yellow star right here. So it just shows you right here the character name, the character's, I guess, suit, if you will, and their abilities, and then a picture of the kid. So we got Ace right here, Sparky, Rusty, Bud, Zip, Blades, Bitsy. Oh, she's terrifying. I just realized that she switched the heads on those dolls. Flipper. The Scrappers. So this is going to go... The original... These first couple of kids were starter kids because they have the yellow star. After that, we're going into the kids that you will see in the deck that you can recruit later on, starting with the Scrappers. Blitz. Got a couple blitzes here. We got Babyface. 2 of those. Crash. A couple of those. We got ourselves a little boss. Punky. A couple of those. Kitty. Dot. I'm sure we have 2 of those. Nope. Penny. Giggles. Tink. A couple Tinks. Icky and Sticky. Doodles. Sweet Pea. Puddin'. Ghost. Prince. Tiny. Golden Boy. Noodle Twins. They don't look like twins, but I'll just go with it. Patch. Chef. Captain, Einstein, Doc, a couple of those, Bones, Smoke, Spike, Rocket Bros, Dash, Munch, the Ant, Skids, Thunder, the Moles, Bug, Sarge, Lefty, Scout, Moose, Wart, Worm, and that's it. So these are the kids. These are the ones you're going to recruit throughout the course of the game. And then we have our starter kids at the very front here, just representing the people that represent your faction at the very beginning. And then finally we have the little cards here. The little cards, I believe, are secret objectives that you have. There actually might be a couple different cards here. Like I said, it's been a while since I played this. We have that guy right there. I don't know what that is, and I don't know what that is. So we're going to look at these first. We have ourselves the first player card instead of a first player token. Okay, that makes sense. We got ourselves the little lucky rock. Then we have the macaroni sculpture. It says when you take this card, finish this round, then end the game, and then it's worth 4 at the end. So this is the this is what we're all fighting over, I presume, if I remember correctly. And then we have some perks and some made-up rules. So we got a perk here called Copycat. Bribe. Roughhousing. Birthday party. Do-over. Extra large backpack. Recycling. Got sticky fingers. DIY. Then our made-up rules, we have piggy bank. Pizza party. Secret stash. Popularity. Play palace. Slime lab. Minimalism. Sleepover. Friendship bracelet. Loner. Big plans. That is it for those. So that is what's going to come in the base game of Fort. Make sure I got that right. Yep. Okay. The next up, like I said, is the expansion. It was. It says that it introduces the pets, so we're going to take a look at that next. Fort Cats and Dogs expansion. So this is supposed to introduce some pets. I don't know. Like I said, when I played this, I didn't play with the expansion, so I'm not familiar with what's inside of here. Okay, we got quite a bit of interesting stuff here. We got some big cardboard pieces in here as well, some cards. Oh, and some little cards too. Okay. So we got some little cards here. Well, let's just do what we always do. We're going to take a look at the rules. Okay, it looks like there's multiple modules. Okay, so there's dogs and there's cats, and you can do them separately. Very cool. Okay, so we have a couple of dog houses here. Oh, okay, we have dog houses for one of each color. All right, so each of these, I'm assuming when you're playing the dog module, you'll give them to your opponents, so that's pretty interesting. Next up, we have the big cards here. All right, starting with the dogs, we have Drover. Hershey. Echo. Got Floofer. Squeaker. Pumpkin. Got Ranger. Rowdy. Pork Chop. Got Barkley. Eau Claire. And Loki. Doesn't look like a Loki, but okay. We got Pudge. Pesto. Violet. Then we got Duke. Spud. And Watson. So a whole bunch of adorable dogs. And then last but not least, our little cards, which represent the different cats. So let's see how this, see what we got here. Got ourselves Scavenger. It looks like the cats go where they're attracted to, whereas the dogs you can just straight up recruit. We got Sprightly. We got Bandit. Scratch. Kingsley. Cilantro. Dumpling. Jitters. And that's it for the cats. So that's what you're going to get with the Fort and the Fort Cats and Dogs expansion. Yeah. If you have any comments or questions, leave those down below. Let's keep it positive. I will be removing any negative comments because it's just not necessary. And that's it, guys. Until next time, peace.